Hey, what up? What up? Welcome back to Bring the Facts. You know what it is. We in the building. We up. We grinding. We grinding. Hey, we got a hot trending topic, man. FBI. The FBI arrests two Mississippi sheriffs and 20 other Delta law enforcement officers in a drug operation. Yup. These two sheriffs right here. They got indicted, man. One of them is Sheriff Milton Gaston. The other one is Sheriff Bruce Williams. They both got indicted for drug trafficking and bribery charges in a year-long operation. This operation, they didn't give it a name, but yeah, these dudes were moving a lot of drugs, man. They were making a lot of money. These dudes, man, I don't know what would possess them to do this, man, but the U.S. Attorney Clay Joyner called the alleged actions of the officers a monumental betrayal of the public's trust. All right, let's get into the story, man. This story is going to be from the Magnolia Tribune website. Credit goes to them. Two sheriffs were among 14 law enforcement officials in the Mississippi Delta region. The FBI arrested on Thursday on criminal charges related to the alleged participation in a huge drug trafficking conspiracy. A years-long investigation across the Mississippi Delta and Shelby County, Tennessee, and also the state of Tennessee, culminated Thursday when the FBI arrested Washington County Sheriff Milton Gaston, Humphreys County Sheriff Bruce Williams, and 12 other current and former law enforcement officers in the state of Mississippi. In all, the FBI announced indictments for 20 people, with 19 of them also charged with violating federal firearm laws pertaining to carrying a firearm in relation to drug trafficking crimes. The U.S. Attorney Clay Joyner of the Northern District of Mississippi, along with Deputy Director Andrew Bailey of the FBI and Special Agent in Charge Eric Rickoff of the FBI Jackson Field Office, made the announcement. Joyner called the alleged allegations against the officers a monumental betrayal of the public's trust. He said bribes to allow they accepted bribes to allow drug traffickers to run through various counties and jurisdictions, and they range from a few thousand to up to $35,000. According to court documents, the following were charged with drug distribution. It's a list of people. I'm not going to read the names. The departments and local enforcement agencies impacted by the arrest include Mississippi Highway Patrol, Mississippi Department of Corrections, Hollandale Police Department, Humphreys County Sheriff's Department, Metcalf Police Department, Washington County Sheriff's Department, Sunflower County Sheriff's Department, Yazoo City Police Department, Boulevard County Sheriff's Department, the Greenwood Police Department, and Greenwood Police Department and Greenville Police Department. Mississippi Department of Public Safety Commissioner Sean Tyndall and Mississippi Department of Corrections Commissioner Burl Cain issued a joint statement saying their agencies do not condone nor will they tolerate and conduct actions that conduct or violates the public's trust, particularly those who've taken an oath to serve and to protect. We commend one of the law enforcement officers arrested was formerly deployed as the Mississippi Department of Public Safety. The Mississippi Department of Corrections had one former law enforcement officer and two current law enforcement officers arrested. All four of the following individuals arrested in connection with this investigation have been suspended or separated completely from employment with respective agencies. Matavius Moore, Mississippi Department of Corrections; Sean Williams, Mississippi Department of Corrections; Marcus Nolan, Mississippi Department of Corrections, former employee; and Marquavius Bankhead, Mississippi Highway Patrol. Yeah, man, these dudes are fucked. I'll just be honest. Sorry for my language, man. They're screwed. These dudes are facing up to 30 years, man, for drug trafficking, bribery, and abuse of public office and stuff like that. These two sheriffs, let me just add, I'll just be honest, they were probably making I'll say they were making probably up to $200,000 a year. Yeah, they were definitely up in ranks because sheriff, it's like a public office. It's not really law enforcement, but they usually have law enforcement background, but that's an elected and official job. That's why they're facing so much time. Yeah, some of those bribery charges that they have, I looked it up. Some of those bribery charges, they're facing up to 30 years on some of the bribery charges, and the actual drugs. And let me just add this: when it come to drug trafficking and stuff like that, the conspiracy is actually worse than actually getting caught with the drugs, depending on how much drugs it is. Yeah, because they say this conspiracy lasted probably a year, up to a year, but I think it was more than that. These dudes been getting money for a long time, man. Yeah, man. The individuals that they were dealing with, they didn't name them. So they specifically went after the Mississippi sheriffs and the 20 Delta law enforcement officer in the drug conspiracy takedown, man. This is just one of the guys that got busted. I don't know if the drug dealers got busted and then they told on them because they didn't go into detail on how the operation actually started, man. So yeah, so they're gonna be going through their bank records and stuff like that, their timesheets and stuff like that. Yeah, they say these some of these sheriff's officers, law enforcement officers, they were actually what they were doing is when the drug shipment would come through, like say they were bringing it to Memphis. If you don't know, Mississippi and Alabama, that's a hub for the cartel because they have a big coastline. So a lot of drugs actually, yeah, a lot of drugs come in through that area. If you didn't know, they don't just come through Texas and Florida and Arizona and California. They actually come from the South, from Mississippi. If you didn't know that, and a long time ago, let me also add this: the New York Italian Mafia, they actually set up shop in Mississippi and also in what was it, Louisiana and Alabama. If you didn't know that, they used to do drug trafficking too, but I don't think they're not tied into this. They didn't allege the they didn't even say any cartel names. So a lot of these shit, I don't know if the drug traffickers that were bringing it in, if they dealt directly with the cartel that was bringing them in. But yeah, these dudes were making some serious cash, man, just to provide an armed escort and provide surveillance and intel to make sure the drug shipments got to where they were supposed to get to safe and everything like that without getting knocked off by the feds or other law enforcement agencies and stuff. Yeah, so every time an officer provided armed transport of a drug shipment, that made it a class A felony right there. So these dudes are facing a lot of time, man, a lot of fucking time, man, and they're probably gonna tell, man, because they never been to jail before. But yeah, so, and they're probably gonna get a lot of their stuff forfeited when they repossess some of their stuff. But the two sheriffs, man, what were their names? Hold on, give me a second. Sheriff Milton Gaston and Sheriff Bruce Williams. I don't know what would possess them to get involved in drug trafficking like that. These dudes were making up to $200,000, and some of the officers. Let me also add, with if you work in the jail, just say if you work in the jail in Mississippi, sometimes your overtime. Just say their base pay is 50,000. Sometimes with overtime, like working as a sheriff, you can make up to 80,000 to $100,000 a year. Yeah, bro. I don't know what would possess these guys to do this, man. Yeah, man. These guys never been arrested. Never. It's hard to become a sheriff, man. It's hard. And also, let me add, Mississippi. That's a big pipeline. That's a huge drug pipeline, just like Texas is. It's not widely known how Texas is, but like I said, my other videos on different drug operations around the United States, drug trafficking, selling drugs, gangbanging, all that shit is dead, man. Criminal activity, it doesn't line up with the New World Order. I'll just tell you that it doesn't. because for the new world order to work, it has to be a cashless society, and that has to do with selling drugs. Because when you sell drugs and stuff, that's money that the state and the federal government is not to get doesn't get taxed. So basically, you're stealing from them. And let me also add this: Al Capone, he was basically selling drugs, but it was in the form of prohibition when he was bootlegging alcohol and stuff like that. How they took him down with federal tax evasion. He got sentenced to 12 years in Alcatraz for not paying taxes. So yeah. It is what it is. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Like, share, comment, subscribe. All that YouTube stuff. Peace.